Welcome to the Holly Hibbard Leadership Podcast, your go-to source for actionable insights, practical advice, and inspiring stories to help you lead with faith-filled purpose at work and at home. If you're looking to equip, empower, and encourage yourself to thrive in an ever-changing world, you're in the right place. I'm Holly Hibbard, and with over 20 years of experience as a science teacher, leadership coach, entrepreneur, and relationship mentor, I understand the challenges and growth opportunities that come with pursuing your passion. Whether you're chasing career goals, taking entrepreneurial leaps, or finally reaching for those long-postponed ambitions, I'm here to help. So let's get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations and explore ways you can lead your family, lead your life, and find your calling with intention and faith. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the show. Today, let's dive into motivation. You cannot tell me or try to convince me that you haven't had a season in your life where you have no clue where your motivation went. And maybe it's something that you have typically felt really comfortable working toward, a goal in your life, a health goal, a career goal, a family goal, a relationship goal. But essentially, we all burn out at some point. Now, where people may say to us, have willpower, push through it. It's going to be okay. Don't give up on it. In the moment where you feel your motivation is gone, all of that, it's just words. Does that really push me? When someone says, have willpower, it doesn't. In fact, it kind of makes me feel worse because I think, wait a minute, is willpower just this switch that I can turn on? And is my switch broken? Because clearly I'm not able to just go when I'm feeling stuck or in a rut or uninspired or whatever it is that's keeping me from pursuing that goal. So today what I want to chat with you about is 9 ways that you can motivate yourself. Some of these might be new for you. Some of these might be a refresher. And again, I don't know about you, but I can't get enough of content like this because having seasons where my motivation is out the window is a real thing. I'm in my mid-40s. I felt this when I went through my teenage years, my 20s, my 30s. I'm sure I'll be experiencing it when I'm old and white hair and wrinkly, and that is not going to change. But what are the tools in my tool belt that I can put into practice, put into action in those moments where the motivation seems to have vanished? So let's just go for it and see what we come up with. First way that you can motivate yourself or re-motivate yourself is to set a goal for growth. Now, I'm going to say SMART goal, which is an acronym, SMART. Again, some of this information is going to be like, oh, no duh, Holly. Of course, we're going to say that. SMART stands for your goal is specific, it is measurable, it is achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound, meaning you have a time limit on it. Something will happen by 90 days from now or a year from now, for example. Now, if you feel unmotivated all of a sudden, you might think, okay, well, I obviously have a goal or a SMART goal that I was working on because then what would I be unmotivated from? But I still bring this up as a way to motivate yourself because sometimes the SMART goal needs to be adjusted, or maybe one of the parts of that acronym SMART needs to be recalibrated or put in a more realistic way. So for example, maybe you set out a goal that you are going to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. And while initially that may seem like it's a specific goal, yes, you can measure it. Is it achievable? Could be for a number of people. Is it relevant to what you want for your life? That's for you to determine. Is it time bound? Yes, I said 30 days. But let's say you then go for the 30 days and you have a result. And at the end of the 30 days, let's say that your result is you lost 8 pounds or you lost 4 pounds. You need to reset the goal. This is a point where it may just be a small tweak on the original goal. So you could say, all right, I want to lose 10 pounds in 90 days instead of 30 days. But also, even though I just said that the R in SMART goal stands for relevant, I love saying it also means realistic. And realistic doesn't mean that you are going to settle on what you declare that you want to have happen and you're seeking to achieve. But realistic to me means you've got to believe in your heart that it is entirely possible for this goal to happen. And this is a way that people self-sabotage themselves. They will state a goal that they're going to work on, but they set forth a goal that they know deep in their heart, there is no way on earth that they're going to have this thing happen in the time allotted. So there is a subconscious or sometimes conscious self-sabotage that happens from the beginning. So sometimes remotivating yourself can just look like adjusting that goal and asking yourself, if you feel like it's been specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, ask yourself, do I feel that this is a realistic thing for me? Are you setting yourself up to win? Because that might be the variable that needs adjusting so that you can feel motivated and have hope again that this goal can happen. The second way that you can motivate yourself or remotivate yourself is to find your intrinsic motivation or the intrinsic inner desire or passion of why you wanted this thing to happen in the first place. I was just doing a quarterly reflection today for my director's role with Reaching Higher, which is a leadership organization. And when I was writing about this last 3 months, one of the things it was asking me about was, do I feel connected to the purpose of what our organization does for people of all ages? Because Reaching Higher is a nonprofit organization. And while we do amazing work, I was honest in my reflection. I said, sometimes I get too much nose to the grindstone. I'm so consumed with the task at hand that I forget the reason I even aligned with this organization in the first place and partnered with them and am a director for them is because I am passionate about the purpose. I am passionate about personal leadership development, about people rising to their full potential, people of all ages and all conditions in life. And so when I say a way to motivate yourself is to find your intrinsic motivation and passion, it looks like sometimes stop doing the task and sit back and remember why you went and did this in the first place. Was it you wanted to feel a certain way? Did you want to increase a level of connection? Did you want to increase the number of dollars in your bank account? That's okay too. But we can, as we're working through a goal, get so caught up in the action that we forget why we are doing it. And that can reignite that fire, that intrinsic or inner motivation to go after the thing that we want again. Way number 3 that you can motivate yourself is overcome procrastination and stay focused. And I laugh at this one because, as I've disclosed before, I was diagnosed with ADHD last year at the age of 43. And oh my goodness, this is so difficult for me to do, to overcome procrastination and stay focused on tasks, because one of the gifts of ADHD is the H for hyper can mean hyper focus. So I can hyper focus, but getting started on something is the most challenging part for me. And so overcoming the procrastination so that then I can get doing the do, and then I'm super focused. That's great. So how on earth do we do that? For me, what has worked, and I think this advice is so good, take the time to recognize the root cause of what's causing the procrastination. Sometimes it could be the task that you need to do is something that truly it bores you. Sometimes it is procrastination because there's a result that you're afraid to get. So for example, you may be afraid to start studying for something because you may go after that exam or that certification and you may not pass. So there could be in your mind, an inevitable defeat. So that could cause you to put it off. Oftentimes we can procrastinate because it's not fun, the thing that we want to do. The thing that we need to do, it could, like I said, it could be boring. It could be a fear of, what if I do all this work and then it doesn't pay off? It could be just being exhausted. Who knows? There's a myriad of reasons why we put things off. And At the end of the day, if you can identify that root cause, so if I notice I'm avoiding something, I can look at the root cause and ask myself, why am I actually avoiding this? If it's because I'm bored, how can I make it more exciting? If it's because I'm distracted, what can I do to set myself up for a more focused session to study or work or calls or emails or write a course or whatever it is that I'm doing? So one of the things I love to do, I love this channel on YouTube that implements the Pomodoro technique, which essentially is setting a timer for 30 minutes and then taking a 10-minute break, or working for 40 minutes and taking a 20-minute break. And YouTube channels, there's so many different ones. I can't even remember the one that I watch right now, but some of them have music, some of them have nature sounds, and the little clock just goes for me on YouTube. And I know that when the music changes, then, oh, it's my break time. I get up, I walk around, I stretch. It even tells you, like, go get some water, like make yourself a new coffee, whatever it is. So that is something that can support in overcoming procrastination, finding a way to make it enjoyable. It might be what's called body doubling, where you have a friend or a colleague or a spouse or someone that has to work on something that they don't want to do. And the two of you set aside the time together where you're not working on this thing together, but you are, let's say each of you are on Zoom and you're in your own offices and separate locations, but you're both working on that thing that you've been avoiding, but you're both committed to 30 minutes. And it's like, we're not going to talk to each other on Zoom for 30 minutes, but at least we are here as accountability buddies, even if we are not in person. So that is a way to overcome procrastination and stay focused. And when you make traction in your goal or in your thing that you're getting done, that will support in motivating you. Method number 4 to motivate yourself is celebrate small wins and progress along the way. This is so difficult for me. I don't know about you. I'd love to hear from you if that is you as well. But one of the things I made a practice of when I was building my coaching practice a few years ago, from the very beginning, was I set a goal of how many people I would reach out to about coaching sessions, or how many people I would contact about my my online courses, or group coaching, things that I was offering at the time. And I may not have had a yes on that day. And with somebody saying, no, not right now, or that's not for me right now, I could throw the baby out with the bathwater and just say, okay, well, I have no wins today and this is terrible. But the fact that I was making the moves and taking the actions to get closer to the goal, because it's a numbers game, right? I had to start acknowledging and rewarding myself in some way daily for those small wins. What did I do? What progress did I make? Oh, I made 8 contacts out of 20 that I said I was going to do this week. And what I would do is I have a whiteboard in my office, and I would write down my goals every week. And something I would make myself do on a daily basis is write down 1 to 3 things I was proud of myself for. And was it always related to that particular goal? No. Maybe I felt awful about the progress that I did not make that day. But maybe one of my small wins that day was I wrote in my journal and I worked out. Okay, not in the arena of career, that's in the arena of health and mental wellness, but a win is a win is a win. And treating yourself well, like a thoroughbred, is also part of keeping your motivation high. So celebrate your small wins, celebrate every element of progress that you can find, and force yourself to do it until it becomes easier to do. Way number 5 to motivate yourself is to, speaking of this thoroughbred, keeping your energy high and your enthusiasm high. So when I did an episode recently where I talked about you as a thoroughbred, you thinking about how you treat your mind, your emotions, your spiritual body, your physical body. All of those things are the total makeup of you. And when you maintain a healthy, I won't say balance, but a healthy harmony between these different areas of your life, and you honor who you are as a whole person, it can be really supportive in preventing burnout. And oftentimes burnout is what leads to a dip in motivation or a total erasure of motivation. So there are things you can do on the daily, small, simple goals that can help to keep your energy high. So something simple could be going to bed 30 minutes earlier than you typically do, or go to bed at the same time each night, or on weeknights, or Sunday night through Thursday night if you are a weekday worker. Another small goal could be drinking enough water. And I know these are so simple and you might be like, oh, no kidding, Holly, we know. But at the end of the day, for us to scoff at things and not think that they have an impact on how we're feeling, and therefore if we are feeling motivated or not, we've got to stop fooling ourselves. Method number 6 to motivate yourself or remotivate yourself is to create a routine that fosters motivation in the first place. I made a commitment a couple of years ago, longer than that actually, that as a coach, I was going to listen to something at least 5 days a week that was going to educate me on mindset, emotional intelligence, healthy relationships, communication, leadership, all the things that I work with my clients and my students on. And I have kept that commitment pretty consistently. I've habit stacked it because oftentimes I couple listening to these things that foster motivation for me. I've coupled it with my morning where I am filling everyone's water bottles or emptying a dishwasher or folding a quick basket of laundry, or when I'm at the gym, or both. I'm trying to stack all the habits at once, but motivation is always part of it. And then 2 years ago, I specifically made it so that the Bible and scripture is something that I'm listening to pretty much every morning, if not 6 days a week, if not 7 days a week, it's easily 6. It is something that I love staying plugged into people who think big, leaders, people who love learning about other people. And so that has become a routine of mine, and it does keep me motivated. It keeps me curious, and curiosity is one of the greatest traits that you can have as a leader, that you keep asking questions, you keep exploring, you never settle on this is how I am and this is what it's going to be. That's just small thinking. We want to have expansive thinking to be the best possible leader that we can be. All right, 3 left. Number 7 method to motivate yourself is building a support system. I don't think I made an episode about this. I might have, but when I moved from Florida back to Michigan in 2020, I had lived in Florida for 14 years and I grew up in Michigan, and I moved back in 2020. So shutdowns were still happening and this was a thing. And I was 40 and single and no kids. And when I moved back to Michigan, I did not have a social circle. I mean, I knew some folks that I grew up with, or of course, my mom and my brother were here, but I couldn't join a mom's group. I couldn't join a couples group, And so my support system, which I had a massive support system in Florida, personally and professionally, massive. Shout out to all you Florida friends. I wanted to create something, and I, in a bold, crazy move, went in a Facebook group for buying and selling stuff. And I'm like, hi, I'm 40 and single and no kids, and I'm looking for friends. Is anyone interested in having lunch or coffee or friends? Something like that. And I specifically said women because I wanted to have girlfriends. And I got so many replies that with over 80 replies in a couple of days, I'm like, I'm just going to shove all these people in a Facebook group because the world is still closed. We couldn't even go anywhere and do anything. I thought like one person might message me and go, let's go to lunch or coffee or something. And, now it's almost 4 years later, and that little Facebook group has over 2,000 women in it. And not only did I find my support system that way and make friends that way, But so many other women who joined that group met now their best friends as well. And we not only are friends, but there's groups of common interest. There's people who are finding mentors, people who are finding employment or better jobs, or people who just inspire us in who we are or in our faith or whatever it is. So a support system is critical to keep you motivated, or when you're lacking motivation, to revitalize you. Method number 9 to motivate yourself is to visualize your success and stay positive. I'm the first one to admit I can't stand bumper sticker wisdom. Don't worry, be happy. I can't do it. Sorry, Bobby McFerrin. That's just not going to work for me. I am a realist. I want to say I'm a pretty positive person, but by nature, I'm pessimistic. I grew up in a pretty pessimistic household, a very cynical household. And in the 7th grade, or 6th grade, I don't remember, they had what is it called? The superlatives, like the mock awards. And I actually won an award for most pessimistic. And my mom about set the school on fire and was like, take this award away. This is terrible. So I will never forget that I was voted most pessimistic in the school when I was in middle school. Anyhow, so I tend to be pretty positive now, and I attribute that to a lot of personal development work, getting that motivation in my ears on a daily basis, like I said before. But staying positive doesn't mean that we see everything through pink clouds, that we are not looking at reality. And it's important to look at what are results and how can we take the results that we have and make them as neutral as possible without our results when they don't work out. And those moments where we're not feeling motivated, how do we make sure that we take a moment, but then can we come back and visualize what a success or a win can look like now? Can we use these tools to get back on the I can do it train? And again, we all have moments where we slip off and go, there's no way, I'm quitting, this is over. So finding ways to stay positive, but remain realistic that you are going to hit bumps in the road. That's part of the creative process, is to hit those bumps in the road, actually, and just have ways to dig yourself out. And last but not least, method number 9 for motivating yourself is, my favorite word, evolve. Evolve. Adapt and evolve your motivation strategies. What worked once for you will not necessarily work for you now. And you can apply that to every area of your life. What got you and your spouse together will not likely be the same points of connection that keep you together down the road, because you are both evolving as individuals and you're going to evolve as a couple. And if you have children or have older children or aging parents and all those things, they change who we are as individuals. So we've got to evolve and notice what motivates me now, what inspires me now, how can I adapt now? And adapting to all these changes and the way we're evolving, how do we adapt? Through doing the other 8 things that I mentioned, having the support system, having a routine that fosters motivation, visualize that success, notice when you're not positive, find ways to take care of yourself so your energy stays kind of high or pretty high, celebrate your wins, and notice what you're passionate about, keep connecting back to that or try to remember that. Stay focused, find ways to avoid procrastination, set those goals, revamp your goals. Those are all the tools you can use to adapt when you notice, oh man, I've evolved and what used to work no longer works for me. I hope this was supportive. Listen, like I said, there are so many reasons and seasons where I have not been motivated. And the most recent one has been in the last year and a half. Even when my mom was sick and before she passed, I would have little inklings of motivation and, oh my gosh, I want to go back to making content and writing courses and connecting with people and coaching people. And I had to remind myself that I'm only capable of giving so much. And so I had to shuttle that motivation to other areas of my life. How can I deepen the connection with my family? How can I deepen the connection with my husband and my daughter? How can I, reroute that motivation? And it's never a linear process. It's going to get squirrely. It's going to get messy. And that's okay. It just means that you're human and like the rest of us. So drop me a comment. Which one of these tools, which one of these methods do you know can totally help you with getting your motivation back, even if just a little bit? Leave me a comment, send me a DM on social. Can't wait to hear from you. And until next time, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. I'm high-fiving you right now because I'm so proud of you for putting your personal growth first. Remember, I believe in you, and with faith-filled intention and committed actions, you can lead your life, purpose, and family to wherever you dream possible. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean so much to me if you'd take 30 seconds to help others discover the show. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, share the show with your friends and family, or screenshot this episode to your Instagram stories and tag me at the Holly Hibbard. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. I'm always here cheering you on, and until next time, stay curious, remain encouraged, and keep empowering yourself. You're doing better than you think, I promise.